Okay, folks, welcome back. Over here on the non-painting side, I don't know that I've actually painted on this side. This is usually building models and show and tell and things like that. I don't think I need any more light though. I'll charge my phone while I'm at it. Which one of these is it? I just kind of moved things off to the side. There wasn't that many things over here, but okay. So I know some of you guys, we did a deep dive on the hundreds of things, and I do mean hundreds, that I've picked up over the last couple of months. And one of the things I haven't done anything with is rigs. So I figured, I was kind of curious what I had in the rig department, because I'll be ready to do one soon. And by soon, I don't mean like, tomorrow or this week, but, maybe over the weekend. I've kind of put some thoughts on a piece of paper, and, cost-wise and things like that, how much they would be. I think they're going to be somewhere around 60-something points for a rig. The base cost of them is so damn expensive. So, in Gaslands, the game in Gaslands. So, I figured, let's take a look at what I have in that department. I've got some new things that have never been touched. In other words, brand new out of the packaging. I've got some things that are what I like to call unloved toys that I got pretty inexpensive. And let's just see what they are. And I'm probably going to box them all together so they're easy to deal with. Now, I think I gained a box, didn't I? Well, we can use this little box right here for them. They should all fit in here, I hope. I hope they all fit in there. And I know some people have been asking about, man, do some rigs, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know how it'll work. I'd like to put some thought into it so I don't build something that's like, yeah, this is kind of trash, All right, anybody here? One person here. Welcome. Let's get rid of this little sign we have here. All right. So let's take a look and see what we have in the rig department. Okay? And we're probably going to pull from a lot of different locations. So in here, this isn't necessarily a rig, but definitely could be one. So this is a Hot Wheels from 1991. A cab over, as we call them here in the States. Hey, what's up, Wolfman? What do you guys call them? Semis? Semi what? Semis. I just want to see what I have trailer-wise and things like that. So here's one right here. I think this is what we call the construction vehicle. The construction or the... I really don't know what I'm expecting. Like something like this fuel truck. Well, I can already tell you this is going to be for the sand dunes. the sand dudes. The sand people. There may not be anything else in here other than this one. This is where I like the police vehicles, and there's an emergency. There's some construction guys. I think that's it. We just have that. I know I got one bag that's just full of trash, kind of. That's after sorting through it. Oh, here it is. Let's see what we got here. And I'm not going to keep any of these things in the package. Okay, so if I come across, you call them Arctics or a lorry. When I hear lorry, I think of a parrot, a lorry. I don't know why, like you know. Okay, so this is a rig. All right, here we have a trailer, and I'm also curious if any of these like work with each other, because I'm sure there's probably combinations that don't work with each other. You know, so this looks like it's some kind of. This is what we would call in the States a lowboy. You know, because it drops, and you know, you put some kind of piece of equipment here that's tall. All right, enough about work stuff. So we've got one trailer. We've got a car hauler that definitely looks out of scale. It looks very small. I don't even know who the heck this one's made by. Where's the super readers at? We're gonna need the super readers for this. These I got out of like a unloved thing. Road Champs. 1982. Yeah, see, something like this, probably the frame is okay, and the sides, but you can't even put vehicles in this size on there. It's too small. But it's a trailer. We have a NASA thing here. And I don't know. See, this bugs the hell out of me. See how this is? It's it reads United States, and over here it's upside down. Like, oh look, it can bloody launch it. Okay. Well, I have a feeling this is going to be like a missile that, you know, you need to stop. Because it's going to, you know, bring about World War IV. Okay, it's got little... So that's that one. We got another missile. It's removable. So you could use this, like, this trailer's good. This is a low bed trailer, yeah, okay. And probably not going to have this missile on this one, because this one has all kinds of uses to it. But got another one. Lots of NASA shit. This is asking to get repainted and be some kind of command center. Made in Macau. Remember that? Let the Portuguese over in that part of the world. Alright. This is a shell tanker from Majorette, made in France. It tells you the scale 1/100, so this is closer to N scale. Doesn't mean we can't use it, it's just... Well, probably wouldn't use it with that one. There's some of these tractors are smaller than others, like this... what is this? Oh, this is a Chinese one. Who knows what the hell it's supposed to be. It won't fit on that one. But there's a smaller one, like the Coca-Cola one. This Coca-Cola one is definitely condensed. I don't know what the hell this stick is or something. It's got to stick up its thing, but that doesn't look too bad. You know, we're going to put like weapons and shit like that on it. Okay, 2 tractors, 3 tractors, another trailer. Okay. We have another trailer that's like to haul logs. You put logs in here. This is what you see them here in the States. Bunch of logs, and you wonder, I hope that thing doesn't fall on me. Also made from Majorette. Wee-oh! Oh! Didn't that come up the other day? Didn't that come up the other day on the other show where we were talking about, you know, some kid misbehaving in Walmart? You should do the banana, whatever the hell that's called, the banana song. Wee-oh! You know, a bunch of lunatics. Okay, a little bit small, 1/100 scale as well. All right, we have a NASA tractor. Majorette. 1/7. So this is exactly HO scale. For those of you guys that don't know, hoe scale. This is a Hot Wheels. Oh, this thing's like squinting. Look at squinting. Got this one with some horns on it. Majorette. I got like all like these old things. They were like stuffed in one bag, and it's like $10. So you had to take all of it. You couldn't like pick and choose what it was. And here is a cab over. This is a Matchbox, isn't it? Yeah, I can tell by the wheels. 186th. So if you have a vehicle like this, it's called a cab over because the cab is over the engine. You're going to want to put a ram on it, because otherwise you are the ram. I mean, unless it's a suicidal truck driver, which, you know, there's a few of those. Okay, so this is all of the, these are all junky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I don't know if this really, this is like a tow truck or something like that, but I think this could totally work for, well, maybe not this one, but something. Maybe this, maybe we won't use that one, but. So 6. All right. Then we picked this up at a model show, and the guy was selling die-cast stuff. So you can see it's got actually a hook for it to hook something. So let's remove this. And this is from 1998. What's it say? Kiernan Holland. Oh, Kiernan. What's it called? Semi-fast. That's it? Is it open or something? Man, the whole top of this is plastic. And this is plastic, too. Okay. I bet this could haul... not really. Which is the one that we're going to turn into a trailer? Maybe not that one either. Okay, maybe we need to be on the lookout for other trailers. Anyhow. Hope that one wasn't limited edition. I don't care. Okay, we picked up this one. The heavy duty dumper. Okay, it comes with a little poop car with a toilet. I already have one, but I don't have one that says number 2. Honestly, that was a big selling point. These tweezers are a piece of shit. Those the duty dumper, even with brown tires. Okay. The rigs! Yes, you excited? I just wanted to see what I have here. I'm not going to start working on them, but I am going to put them in this box. So when we can partner them up with something, you can see what we have. Here's a heavy duty dumper. And this tractor is significantly bigger than any of the other ones. Unfortunately, these are all together. It's all one load. So this is pretty damn big. And should be removable, and I bet it fits in here. Sure does. Cool. It's a nice tractor right here. A tractor this big would have double wheels on the back, but it's a fictitious fantasy land, you know. All right, we'll keep these together for now. And we'll put that there. What else do we have that's tractor-wise? That may be everything. That may be everything. I got lots of rams that are specifically for tractors. In other words, they're really big. Almost certainly every tractor is going to have a ram on it. That's like a given. I don't think they would be anywhere else. These are Japanese. These are nerds. You know, I got something like this that's got like a trailer on it or something like that, but not really a trailer for, you know, a war rig. War rig, that's really what we're talking about. War rigs. This is the truck that I'm thinking is probably going to be spit stained. Something like this called spit stain. Yeah. I think that's all I have. I think that's all I have. So, the ones from my childhood we didn't put in here. I don't think I have any. I don't think I have any rigs. No. Heavy duty dumper. Yeah, so these items here, man, this thing's wide, and these are kind of small. So I'm actually fine in the tractor category. I've seen that type of truck many times in life, very popular here, or was, I don't know. Oh, the cab over? Yeah, they're hard to work on. They have good visibility, supposedly, but they're hard to work on because, you know, they're kind of compact. So if somebody says, hey, you got enough tractors? I'd say yes. Do you have enough trailers? I could use some trailers. Because this is undersized, this is undersized. This one's okay, but, you know, this is way undersized. This one's alright. This one's alright. This one's alright. So we really got, this is undersized. And of course this one's big. Probably don't need it. I'm not going to buy any until we do something with the ones we have. This is a nice, well, look at the colors on this. Look at the colors on this. This is going to be an Indian one. I don't mean, you know, the Indians that are here. All right. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to see what I had there because I honestly didn't have a clue. So I'm going to take a little bathroom break. I got two missile ones, but I think this one I'm going to remove it. I'm not going to use this because this is a nice flatbed or a double drop. I got this missile one that it even stands up, and I don't think it's going to be a space thing. I think it's going to be a nuke, some form of nuke. All right, I will be right back. And we will continue on the other side with, what's his name? I was going to say Rice-A-Roni. No, it's not. Rice Cube. Be right back in a moment. There's a couple of other truck-like things that don't really fall into a war rig. Because there's not really a tractor trailer in the game. It's like a war rig. Right? Just assume that it's a war rig. And, but they're not official. And one of them is, and I don't know exactly what the rule is on them, but it's called, I think they call it a motorhome. And something like, I came across, I wasn't even looking for anything, but Hot Wheels makes a set of like car haulers. But they're like a car hauler for like one vehicle. Hot Wheels, and I think I've showed you guys about this. There's one that's like a Ferrari. And this would be awesome for like an objective. So it's, it could only haul, I guess it could haul 2 cars. I don't know how the hell you get them down within the game, but that'd be good, like, for instance, for the Italian team. But if I look on here and I go, rules for Gaslands motorhome. Weight class heavyweight. 4 build slots upgrade. Handling move. I don't know if this is... I came somewhere. It's like something that came out before Refueled came out. Because in the vehicles, motorhome isn't here. Anyways, that might be something that fits into that. This is like an AI generated thing, so I don't know if this is true. Motorhome vehicle. Yeah, I'll have to see what it is, but something like that would definitely fall into that category. And they make all kinds of different ones. They make a Porsche one and a Mercedes one and get the coffee. And the Italian one, of course, they've got. I'd only want one, honestly. That Ferrari one looks pretty cool. I'm not a huge Ferrari fan or anything like that, but iconic. Now, with that said, I don't like things that are completely red because they're hard to weather. Now, I've got a couple of vehicles that turned out really cool that are red. I particularly like the Red Baron car. But, all right. Rice cube. So this morning, we primed some of this stuff in rough iron, and then some of it we touched up with bronze. Believe it or not, this is only the second bronze I've ever bought. I painted like all my Roman armor, and so many DBA armies have bronze and stuff for them, and I only used one. So I don't remember if I don't think I went brighter than this morning. So the next step up would be, I believe it's called Old Gold. It is. So we're going to paint this in Old Gold. make it stand out a little bit more. So the wife is gone for about 3 days or so, 3 nights. Yeah, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. She'll be back Thursday night. So not that she keeps me from doing anything, but I can make those Walmart noises, and and nobody would say anything about it. We all. I'm my own special brother. No. I don't think this is going to be too bright. Nah, it's okay, but we're not going to take it any higher than this. I do have a short bus around here somewhere. The Short Bus Commandos. It is. That's the worst thing about Walmart. Is you encounter people that don't walk this earth. You know. That happens in the United States when you take the bus. Maybe not in Europe, but in the United States. And I had to take the bus going to college. Like, I didn't have a car or anything like that. I took the bus, and there's some normal people on there, and then there's some not normal people on there. I don't know what the top part of this is. I don't know if that's clear or not. So we're going to look up what this thing is again. Corvette. Should come up on my searches. Corvette, Hot Wheels. I guess I have to look for it again. Hot Wheels, the 19 W8304. That's what it is. Okay, Hot Wheels Greenwood Corvette. I think it's clear. I think it's clear as well. Oh no, it's solid. It's solid back here. Okay, well then I guess we gotta use this gold. In the 3rd through 4th grade, we lived out in the middle of nowhere, and the only bus that went out there was the short bus. Yeah. I remember when I lived in Alabama, there's some bus that I needed to take. A school bus. It went all the way around freaking town. All the way. Like, we were on the bus for like an hour and a half. Freaking crazy. It's like 1978. We're not going to make any judgment calls on this thing until it's clear coated, because this vehicle is going to be affected a lot by the clear coat, because you have all windows don't have, let's not forget that we need to, these frames back here. All the windows are bulletproof glass. So they're going to be frosted. Okay. And then here we're going to do the little treatment with the lights, except there's 2 in each one. There's 2 in each one. So let's get the usual suspects. I'd use a Vallejo white, but I don't have a Vallejo white. I would have picked one up, but not because this is not worth a damn. This just makes a mess getting it out. I think I escaped. Don't get none on you. Hoffman, you're not wearing boots right now, are you? I mean, you are in Texas. And by boots, I mean, cowboy boots. And I can't imagine wearing a suit with cowboy boots. Oh, they're fancy boots. It's just weird. Not my people, not my problem. Let's go. Let's do a dark gray here. I think we actually need to go darker than that. Now, not a boot person. Today is my last full day and your aunt and uncle are here. It was nice not to have them hogging the bathroom all the time. So they're staying with you, and you have a roommate. I bet that's a problem. I mean, unless you live in a big... Well, at least they're your family. You can be rude to them, and they still have to accept you. Isn't that how it works? Yeah. Yeah, I like privacy. I like non-interruptions. So I don't know if you guys can hear that, but this is the fan. We've had a fan. My wife got some fan months ago, maybe even a year ago. It's this. There's this place that I guess deals with stolen equipment. No, they sell like pallets of like secondhand stuff. And occasionally they have something cool, and they have this standing fan, and it came, and it was and it has like a foot pad. It's like 2 pieces, and one of the pieces was missing or broken or something like that. So we had to order a foot pad from the manufacturer. It took like 8 months to get here, and it's been sitting in the garage. We haven't put it together, so we did a lot of picking up. This weekend, and we put this thing back together, and it'll freeze you out. The bad thing is it's a little loud, and this is like the lowest speed is still pretty damn loud. Yeah, that's medium. High, yeah, you're gonna blow people to. And I don't complain about it being cold, but it's freaking cold. But that's all right. I'm well insulated, I don't, I don't paint in 95 degree weather or 90 degree weather, 85. I mean, if it was 80 degrees in here, I wouldn't paint. There's no way I'm painting 80 degrees weather. I exude too much heat. So, all I heard is you said you're hot all the time. I am, all the freaking time. All right, so let's bring this up a little bit, and we're gonna have 2 cells here and 2 cells here. So I'm going to bring everything on the bottom up a little bit. So I'm going to come up the sides here. So nothing exciting yet. Yeah, I don't like cowboy boots on anybody. Certainly not wearing one with a suit. All right, so let's add significantly more white to this. I'm going to have to move this out of the way. It's being all persnickety. And we're going to do 2 little semicircles. Leaving the top kind of in a black area or a darker area. The suit and boots combo is very, I think it's weird, man. And like, I like dress shoes. I mean, I don't want to wear them on a regular basis, but you get a good pair of dress shoes, they're just as comfortable as sneakers. You know? And I like wearing a tie if the situation calls for it. I ain't wearing a tie and boots. That's weird. You know? I don't know. Not my people. Yeah, our governor wears a suit and boots. And people say it's because he has lifts or something. I don't know. If he was flat-footed and he was wearing lifts, it's not like he'd be 5'4" or something. Let me get my tea. This is carrying the coffee. This is carrying the tea. All right, we're gonna have to turn you off. Woo! Just loud. All right, let's add a little bit of more white to it. Bring it up. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the pure white. What do you mean pure white? So that's how I found a way to do light bulbs. In other words, this it's basically a clear covering, and then that's not part of the light bulb. It's just a clear covering. And inside there, if you lifted that up, you would have the individual light bulbs. They don't touch the. There's airspace in there, and the Ford Escort had that, and that works. It might be somewhere down the line a better way to do it, but I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy with that. So. All right, the flamethrower needs some metal done on certain of the parts, and this tank needs to be the one on the fire marshal. I did not do it red because there's so much red on the damn on the car. There's so much red, but here it's okay. I'm even going to do these ones in the back red. But let's go do the metal parts first. So, yeah, you won't really be able to tell if it looks worth a damn until you do the weathering. And we've got this Hot Wheels sign down here. We've got one here and here. How close can I get to that color? No, it's not that one. I might be better off just leaving it alone. I think that's what I want to do. I don't want to risk. If I was really adventurous, I could take like acetone, put a fine brush, and then brush over that and eliminate it. But what if I cut into it? This is kind of like a yellow, almost in the same realm of yellow, like a telephone in the 1970s, and yeah, something like that. So let's go ahead and get Iron Warriors. Yeah, they look okay. I mean, it was a struggle to try to figure out how I was going to do it with the Escort, but it works. I've been kind of consistent with it, so not as much as round headlights. I really like painting those, and most headlights are round for whatever reason. Well, certainly on the older cars. Ooh, this didn't get shook well. Something's going on here. Come on. There we go. There we go. Now let's do something that's a brush that's not great. And I'll waste a good brush on this. You talk yourself into doing a car yet? It's fun to go look at them, even if you don't even buy any. It really is. There you go. So a little bit of a smoldery look to that. These valves on the end, yes. Maybe a little bit on those brackets, but the actual tank itself is going to be red. We'll do this tank red also. They'll all be red. Or maybe I could do two different color reds. That works. I got enough. I really hate shaking paints. Have you ever had a shaker? I never have. Putting the bearings in there helps a lot. My wife has this. I don't know why she has it. I think she commandeered it from somebody. I'm not saying that too loud. But one of those muscle like type things. It's like a black thing, and it's kind of chunky, unfortunately. So what I have done is like turn that thing on and held this up against it, where it's just like, and that shakes it up really well. But no, I don't. A paint shaker, that's just looking for something else to spend money on. You know, I've never needed one. So, I've never needed one. Ooh, label coming off of that. Okay. I must have been using the other. I have two of those, and I must have been using the other one because usually if you shake paint and you use it within a week, and you don't have to shake it great, it's still shook up enough, you know. Paint doesn't need as much shaking as old paints used to be. They made these little back when they did the testers paints. Well, they still do. There was their competitor called Pactra. And Pactra was the worst paint that I ever remember. Because it was like those little testers bottles. But it had etchings. It had the actual bottle was etched. Let me show you what they look like. Here's a picture of it. I want a clear picture. Oh, it's a Facebook thing. Not now. So it had paint that had etchings in it. So like the thick part would get stuck in here. It was just a nightmare. It was just a friggin' nightmare. Yeah, this crap. Horrible. I'd rather paint with oils. Horrible stuff. And then use the brushes they give you, which are like huge. And they don't come to a point. And they're nylon. It's like, my. It's amazing, it's amazing anybody of my generation, like, picked this up. I'm just like, what is wrong with you? Because I could probably use those crappy paints, put them here, and then thin them with thinner, but then use these kind of brushes, and probably get along okay with it. You haven't heard the name Pactra in many decades. And you didn't need to hear it again, right? Horrible stuff. Horrible. Something should have never been made. Yeah. Pactra paints, combine that with the model glue that comes in a tube and a Lindbergh model. It's your recipe for like disappointment right there. And there's other brands of models that are worse than Lindbergh. Lindbergh was just everywhere. Is it named after Charles Lindbergh? I can see Charles Lindbergh like rolling in his grave, saying like, "Man, I wish you guys would just call me a Nazi and not name a model company after me." Horrible stuff. Box scale. Oh, we want all our kits to be in a box this big. All right, well, we got a model of a destroyer. It's this big. It's a battleship. It's this big. So you'd have a battleship that'd be like, 1/500 and something, and the destroyer would be 1/300 and something. So you couldn't use them together. And it was even worse than that, because there'd be like the battleship Missouri, right? And it was like 1/575th scale. Doesn't go with anything else. Doesn't go with the air fixes that are all 1/600. It's a random size, 575. So they think, okay, well, they decided to do Iowa class battleships in that size, right? So they also make, I don't know why you'd want to make the Missouri and the Iowa, because they're the fucking same. But then the Iowa would not be 575, it would be 534. Like, you can't even in the same ship class make them. It's like, no. Nope, not going to do it. Not going to do it. We didn't have many options back in the day, didn't know any better. Well, yeah, I guess. We're living in the golden age. Living in the golden age. Now, I remember buying MPC models, and on the side of them, you would get anchors. They were like little UPC, little coupons or whatever. And the ship models would give you anchors. The military models would give you stripes. And the airplane models would give you wings. And if you looked in the catalog, and if you sent in 10 of one thing, they'd send you a free ship model. I actually got like 2 ship models out of it. Or something like that. But imagine like, okay, let me put my order in. All right, let me get some stamps and put it in the mail. I'm like, oh, stop. That's what I wouldn't be able to handle that. All right, man. Thanks for stopping by. All right, let's paint these tanks red. Derek, you started working on your first car yet? Really, more fun than working on these cars, more fun than playing this game, is going in the toy section and looking through them. That's a lot of fun. Even if you don't buy any, it's just kind of cool. It's like, like, oh man, this stuff was right there all along. And they have all kinds of detail that's really, really interesting. Like the douche canoe, this whole thing comes off. And it's interchangeable with these. It has like the same pattern. I mean, it's like, sometimes you open these up and they've got really good detail on the, well, this one won't, because it's got solid windows. Solid windows guarantee doesn't have an inside. But it's cool to find what you're going to see inside there. As I like to say, I get really excited about these things because, you can't afford real cars anymore. Let's get a couple reds out here. We're going to use flat red for one of them. And we're going to use scarlet for the other one. Scarlet is the more orangey one. And we'll use scarlet on the back. I'm sorting them out. I should have your Creeper Hero Studios order in by Wednesday. Every time I've ordered from him, and I've ordered from him twice. I've ordered from him twice, and I ordered from Switchyard Studios. The only thing I don't like about Switchyard Studios is he doesn't have a presence on the internet. So I can't tag him on stuff. He makes his stuff is they both do excellent things. They don't make anything that's similar to each other, so that's cool. I think they're both on Etsy. Might both be on eBay. Switchyard's in Ohio or Michigan, something like that. But Michigan, that's like a rock's throw from you. All right. We need some more black stuff here. I was thinking about the rigs. I'm like, okay, what do I have? What do I have in them? Like I don't remember. I'm not in a huge hurry to build them. 27-point vehicles you'll use in every game. But like this one, this is something from Creepy Hero, I'm pretty sure. And it's FDM. It has a lot of ridges. And it's probably going to be noticeable. I don't know if it's just something he has a whole stock of them and they came out that way. The 3D printer I've done the most business with is a guy out of Indiana that I've gotten a lot of like World War II stuff from. And he does really good work as well. His resin is, I think, the best one because it's almost bendy a little bit, And I don't mean that in a bad way. Like it feels rubbery. So you don't have to worry about it snapping, you know. That doesn't mean these other two guys aren't any good. No, they're cool. With a color this dark, it's not going to make that much of a difference. So I'm going to go ahead and paint this tank also in red. You have any plans on building a personal vehicle, or a personal vehicle of whatever, like if you've got a Toyota Camry, just saying, we're thinking about doing something that you drive. Obviously, you don't want to put yourself in this game because then you'd be a bad person, but. I think the only vehicle that I've had, they probably make Toyota Camrys, but that's not really my vehicle. I just leased it. I leased 3 of those, and they probably make an Xterra. I've only had the Xterra for about 3 years. They don't make my first car, and they make my current car. So I'm gonna do one of those. It's not gonna be me, I'm not in there. First of all, I'm not Asian, so can't be me. It won't let me on the Asian team. I'm not Asian. Hey, I make the rules. I saw that comment you saw that my last build probably be okay for general consumption. I just don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with people of. I don't want to deal with keyboard commandos and the negativity. So it ain't worth it. They'll miss out. They'll miss out on one build. I think they'll be okay. And they gripe about the AI shit. And look, AI has its purpose. I'm okay with using AI to enhance the stuff that we do. But I don't want to. I'm not going to make pushing fake videos of things. People doing stuff that they aren't really doing. That's just called lying. You've been given the okay to start driving again. Okay. Well, you probably wouldn't be able to if you had a stick shift. I'm just guessing. But not many people have those. Only stupid people like me that insist on having that. Hey, it's fun. And I missed out on many years of doing it. My first car was a stick shift. Loved it, and then I wrecked it. I didn't wreck it like in a week. I wrecked it after having it 11 years. And then I went 11 years? Close to that, about 10 years. Had 155,000 miles on it. And then my next vehicle, the Xterra, was not a stick. I wasn't allowed. I was asked to not get a stick so that she could drive my car, even though I can count on one hand over between 2007 and when did I get this car? And 2021, I can count on one hand how many times she drove my vehicle. So I had to have it automatic all those years. Boring. And it's annoying to have a stick shift sometimes in a drive-through. In a drive-through that moves slow. It's annoying. In traffic, it's okay. You know, actually, a stick would be easy. It's my right knee that's busted. I learned to drive stick in an army jeep. Oh, anything will run smoother than that. I'm glad I found a use for that jeep because that jeep is just huge, and the undercarriage of it ended up being for the Homermobile. So, but I like the of all the vehicles I've done. I don't really like playing favorites because I like them all. But if I had to pick one, it'd probably be Redneck Riviera because it's two of them combined. It just looks the part. But I'd be happy to drive any of them. They're all cool. I thought you had both knees that were bad. I don't know why I thought that. Maybe it kind of meshed into my story about that one guy from Canada that I heard that he said, it took him so long to get the medical appointment. By the time he got one, the other knee was bad. And he had to compensate for it. I guess I just kind of worked that into the story without wanting to. But I'm glad only one knee's bad. That's a lot better than both. Okay, that's looking the part. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one of my tricks. I changed my mind. I'm not going to do both colors. Okay, put flat red away. I'm going to do one of my tricks. I need to come up with a name for this. And I'm sure somebody else has done this before. But I'm going to use the same color, but before I get to the main course, I'm going to start lightening it up. So it'll actually be like two different colors, but they'll be it's like when you pick up the paint chips, right? You go to Home Depot or something like that, and they got the Behr paints, and they've got these different shades of green. They're kind of like the same green, but they're not. Like they're related. If you paint the two things in the same room, it's not like one of them's pastel and one of them's warm. They all kind of work together. Same sort of thing. So I think I want the flamethrower one brighter. So let's do both in this color. Let's keep bringing them up. Because these tanks back here are really for smoke, but they could be, extra fuel. Who knows? Who cares what the background story is? It's just food for thought. But one of those one of those Teslas would probably be even easier. Can we just agree that Tesla truck is like horribly ugly? Like, if I built one in shop class, it'd have better lines than that. And it might be really cool on the inside, but it looks like a dumpster on the outside. I don't trust a car with no grill. Shifty. You carried a mailbag where all the weight was on your right. Add 20 years, you develop issues. Though x-rays today, I did find my left is still okay. So you were a walking mailman? You didn't have one of them Jeeps, one of the British Jeeps that on the driving on the wrong side? I'd like to find out who the hell our mail person is. They always move the mail all the way to the back. And then I can't reach it from inside the car. And my wife says, well, yep, if it rained, you'd come. Let it rain. When's that ever going to rain? It is a dumpster on wheels. And dumpsters don't cost that much. It's horribly ugly. It's horribly ugly. And I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, well, it works well. Doesn't matter what it looks like. It just works. That's everybody's excuse for that one firearm that I find really ugly. Well, it doesn't matter if it's attractive or not. It just works. Yeah, but it can work and not look like ass also. But there's few things that are as ugly as a Tesla truck. I think that duck truck is better looking than a Tesla truck. And man, that duck truck is ugly as shit. It is an ugly as shit truck. Like a pair of sad galoshes. I just don't understand that kind of logic. It'd be like getting a girlfriend. Man, your girlfriend's not very attractive. Yeah, but she's good in bed. Well, why don't you get one that is attractive and good in bed? What, they have to cancel each other out? Okay, now I think we're gonna split off. So we're gonna get this beautiful yellow that we just picked up at Hobby Lobby for a discounted price. You had an LLV. Uh-oh. I don't know what that is. Let's see what it is. LLV. Oh, okay. Didn't know they were called that. Made by Grumman? What? Built on a modified Chevy S10 frame with... That is cool, man. I did not know that. All right. I'm going to say something you've probably never heard somebody say before. It's kind of attractive. It kind of is. From the front, it's cute. How much horsepower has it got? 68? 2.5 liter. LLV. I didn't know it was called LLV horsepower. 90 to 92. That's a lot of liters. 2.5 liters is a lot of liters for only 90 to 92. It must be geared really low. Top speed, limited by aerodynamics. Semicolon, unsuitable for high speed highway use. 0 to 60, nearly 20 seconds. Modified versions. Some modified versions exist, such as custom drag racing builds with over 600 to 750 horsepower. Yeah, the duck. The duck is ugly as shit. I think it's... Most World War II vehicles are attractive. All of them. I'm not one of those, the Sherman's ugly. The Sherman's not ugly, okay? Most World War II vehicles are attractive. There's exceptions, the duck being one of them. Another one being this thing by the Germans. Most German vehicles are wicked looking. This thing is ugly as shit. Ugly as crap. This is one of the ones I actually put a magnet on it. This is actually all white metal, and it's extremely front heavy. So, with a magnet on both sides, ugly ass vehicle. Pack RSO. What other vehicles I have here that are ugly? I don't know that I have any other vehicles that I would consider ugly. World War II vehicles. Shermans aren't ugly. No German tank's ugly, I don't think. Maybe a Panzer II Flamingo is kind of ugly. Got nothing going on. I can't think of any Russian vehicles from World War II that are ugly. Some less attractive than others, but I've never ridden in a Duck. It's probably a great vehicle, but it looks like a pair of those galoshes. You know which ones I'm talking about. The ones with like rubber on the bottom, and they're like, what would the top be? I can't think of what it's called. Canvas. You missed my OLV, but it didn't have a radio or air conditioning. They don't have a lot of power. Yeah, a Duck is ugly as shit. Sorry. Sorry about that. DUKW. Probably a great vehicle, but it's the shape of it, and it's these little lines across the side. Because underneath it, it's a 2.5-ton truck, right? Those all look good, especially the Studebakers. And then they went and give them to the damn Russians. I found out that recently. All the 2.5-ton Studebakers, they all went to the Soviet Union. My dad would say, "What?" And don't worry, you can make a Duck uglier. Ay caramba. Coño, que feo! Gotta be the ugliest Allied vehicle. Gotta be. South America. South America's making stuff from the 1940s now, finally. They finally got up to the 1940s. My mom's been to South America several times. I probably never plan on going to South America. It's too far. Might as well go to Europe. We don't come from South America. Not my problem. Go down there, it's another fucking season. I mean, Jesus, All right, we gotta start over here. My mom ended up taking a trip to Peru because this lady that she knows, my mom's older. She's like, she's older, and she went this trip to Peru, and like I said, where'd you go? When she showed me, I was like, that's where like fucking Shining Path was, or whatever the hell they're called in Spanish, something luminoso. I forget what the hell it is, but I'm like, yeah, I'm not going over there. I'm not going to some place where communist fucking guerrillas were all over the place. Unarmed with a bunch of communist guerrillas. Okay, that's where we were. Now, we're going to add a little bit of yellow, not too much. I said not too much. interested in painting this kind of impressionistic in a way. I didn't start doing things that way, but I enjoy doing that sometimes. You still got to stay within the lines, right? But that looks pretty good. And I think a little bit of white at this point, not more yellow. Although Tierra del Fuego is probably a pretty cool place to go to, but man, it's far. It's expensive. It's like, man, but those fjords are cool. So are the ones in Norway. It's probably cheaper to go to Norway. Unless you storm the beaches, you're riding the South American version. I've had the good fortune to ride most types of amphibious assault vehicles. What's the coolest assault vehicle? Amphibious assault vehicle. None of them have any armor. Probably a good thing, otherwise you get stuck in one. Is that Russian one? Would you consider a BMP amphibious? A BMP-1? Military amphibious vehicles. Images. There's a military museum that I've never been to in this little town called Green Cove Springs on the way to St. Augustine. And they have this vehicle that is freaking massive. And it's obviously amphibious. I didn't know what it was till I looked it up. And it's one of these Lark LXs. And it's such a weird vehicle that it looks like they shrunk you. It looks like if you played with a Lark in scale, it just looked like you're trying to play with something that's not in the same scale as everything else. I mean, look at the size of the people. It just, I think they used it like around the Vietnam time period. It's so awkward. It doesn't look real. It doesn't look real. It looks out of scale. Such a strange vehicle. You can probably carry a whole fucking platoon of people. You got one of those outside there. I've never been in there. It's just a rinky-dink little place. We do the June 6th landings in August in Ohio. Oh, I think I've seen pictures of those. Buffalo's pretty awesome. It jerks heavily, but the tracks catch some land. Oh, the Buffalo? Yeah. Some of those, some of those are pretty cool. Whichever one was that had, it's got like a tank turret on it. There's one of them that has a howitzer, like an M8 howitzer motor carriage turret on it, with a 75. Like I wouldn't want to be with like in like a duplex drive Sherman or something like that. Like inside it, no. I, I we ride on the water, not inside of it. That's creepy. The BMP floats, but I wouldn't call it amphibious. What's the other one that they do that's actually a fairly attractive vehicle? Didn't say that, it's a piece, that it wasn't a piece of shit. MTLB, I think that one's amphibious. It's just like basic MTLB. Yeah, I think the MTLB is fairly attractive looking. It's pretty squat. It's got those weird pressed wheels. I guess BT70s, BT80s probably aren't amphibious either by the same reason, but those are fairly attractive vehicles. Didn't say they were any good, you know. It's Soviet. They don't care if you survive or not. Yeah, I'm not somebody who thinks Shermans are unattractive. They can be quite cute. I have a whole herd of them that I've painted and a few more to paint. You know, I think a lot of the reasons that people don't think that American tanks are very attractive is the paint schemes. They're just not exciting to do, you know? I can't think of any American tank in American service that has a very exciting paint scheme. I mean exciting. I don't mean that, you know, when it's all done it doesn't look bad. It's just not very exciting. So if I ever did modern wargaming, and I'm not going to do it, but if I did, I would love to do like a Fulda Gap type thing. But like at the end of Eisenhower's, I was almost at Eisenhower's reign. No, at the end of Eisenhower, beginning of Kennedy. So 5960. That way you can have Walker Bulldogs, you can have M47s, and you can have M103s, right? The big ones, the big jokers, like a big M60 looking thing. It's like a stretch M60. You've been impressed by that PT-76. Remove the ammunition racks. It's fairly spacious. MTLB is attractive but cramped. I bet all the Soviet vehicles are cramped. It's kind of sleek. I mean, you know, it's probably not, but that's what the bottom of the ZSUs is, isn't it? It's probably something similar. It's got those pressed wheels. I don't know what this is from, but that's fairly attractive. Mutant Soviet armored. MTLB interior. Ugh. You know, just. MTLB used for everything. Yeah, those pressed wheels really just. The BMP one has those pressed wheels too. MTLB, those ZSUs have them. Probably a lot of other things have them as well. They're artillery things, right? Those, whatever the hell those things are called, they're poor man's M109s. Two S1s or whatever the hell they're called. What I didn't like about the Cold War stuff is that, from a wargaming standpoint, is, back in the day, if you had like M1s and the West German Leopards and stuff like that, they were all painted that same NATO dark green, black, and the brown, the red brown or whatever. And it's like, it's just not very exciting, from a modeling standpoint. At least like the British Army of the Rhine ones, you had like the dark green with like the black, and that looks pretty cool. But the Germans and the Americans basically being, and there might be some differentiations that they have between them, but I didn't have Americans when I war gamed. I had West Germans and British. And I think my West Germans, I just painted them. I didn't put camouflage on them. They were like a gray green type of color, not very gray, but not like bright green or anything like that. Has a narrow crawl space to one side between the front and rear compartments. I never got a chance to go out to Aberdeen Proving Grounds. By the time I got a chance to go anywhere near there, they'd already moved all the stuff. And now they've got that huge museum that was in Virginia that had it's a private collection that closed down. We're going to hit that on the way either to Historicon or back. But they're at the end. By the time I found out about it, they were only open on Friday and Saturday, and that doesn't really work with our schedule. They had been open on Sunday or Wednesday, so never got a chance to go to that. They've got the one Fort Benning that supposedly is open to the public, like on a couple of select days a year. It's like, dude, open that. That's what I want to go to. I don't want to go to Gettysburg. I don't want to go to, I want to go to like a place that has all the fucking tanks so I can check and make sure, that they got them right, You've painted the NATO pattern with a bucket and brush on your tank. I take it it's enamel paint. It's probably stinky. What about that paint scheme they had on tanks in the 70s? Like the one that was like 4 colors? It's like 2 greens, black, and a beige, or it's brown, beige, black, green. Yeah, that's what it is. That was distinctly American looking. 1970s U.S. tank paint scheme. Forest green, field drab, sand black. 1970s U.S. tank paint schemes transitioned from overall olive drab to the standardized 4-color MRDC, Mobility Equipment Research and Design Command camouflage pattern, starting around 1977. 1977 to the 1980s. It was a beige base overlaid with rust brown, forest green, and black patches. All right, show me some images. You're showing me anything but that. MRD. Crap, I forgot what it was called. MR. Oh, Merd C. Okay. It looks good. I always imagine that the model of the Tamiya Sergeant York painted in that. It looks good. And the desert one looks really good. The desert one looks really good. That's some good looking camouflage schemes. Yeah. That's the best. I think that's the best looking camouflage schemes that the U.S. ever had. Whether or not it was effective, that's just something totally different. Yeah, this stuff, those M113s, this is a mortar carrier or command vehicle. M577? Why would I know that? It is an M577. Holy shit. I'm going to forget my wife's birthday, but remember that stupid thing. And your first sheet of 24th Infantry went from MERDC to Spring to Desert with Ping to Plank Data Sam within 2 years. I don't know. What do you think? You think it looks pretty good? I think it looks pretty good. Snazzy. I generally don't paint American stuff because, fortunately, I'm already American. So I'd like to role play a little bit. But I'll tell you one thing. That late 1944, 1945 paint scheme that the U.S. Navy had with the 4 colors or whatever, the splinter, measure 32A or B or whatever the hell it's called, that's some good looking grays. That's a good looking paint scheme. Especially because they painted over the decks. You know why they painted over the decks? So they wouldn't have these nincompoops go on these 80 years later wondering, well, no wonder the ships at Pearl Harbor blew up. They had wooden decks. That's stupid. You chalk on the pattern and get to painting. I guess after a while, if you repaint them, you could see vestiges of, because they wouldn't, I'm sure you didn't have the black that went in the same place, where you switched. So you'd probably have areas of the hull that could be, a 1/4 inch thicker, I could totally see that happening. That's some good, I forgot about those, I forgot about those. That's some good looking tanks right there. It's like a fire extinguisher. I just did red because it looks like it would go with the scheme. And it's the same red, it's just not brought up all the way. And I don't like this red around the rims, but I think after we add mud to it, if some of it shows, it's okay. I think it's okay if some of that is visible. All right, che mi falta? I think we're ready to do. I think we're ready to do the weathering. Yeah, I experienced the M577. It's ridiculous that I remember what that was. We used to play, what was it? Combined Arms? Yeah, it was the command decision for the modern one. Combined Arms. You're on the battalion commander's tank. We supported the TOC, which used F577s extensively. The M113 air calves, I think, those were attractive. They had the little like turrets for the. It just looked cool. I know those guys had paper thin armor, but you know. Oh, this has got a toe on it. Look at the one on the bottom. That looks cool. That looks really cool. I like that paint scheme. Yeah. All right, chocolate brown. Tactical Ops Center. Well, I was never in the service. They didn't want me. It probably worked out for the best. Would have never gotten lost though. Might not have been good at anything else, but I wouldn't have gotten lost. I'm great with I'm really good with directions. I think that's just something you inherit. It's like it's just genetic. There's some people that just like they don't like if I'm not driving, I'm paying attention to where I'm going. Like I'm like okay, I know which way up. Which way up is. Yeah, up is north. I don't turn the fucking map around. It's like I've always been good at that. Got it from my dad. Is it dark already? Let's get. Yeah, time flies when you're freaking doing this. The only thing I don't like about this hobby, your free time passes way too fast. This may not cover this. It covers it enough. It covers it enough that it's not super in your face. You do turn. My dad always did. My dad always did. But I don't. And even when I'm playing any kind of video game that has a little map in the corner, I don't want it to turn me the way it's just, I don't know, it's just habit. You know? I used to draw maps for all our deliveries and stuff like that at work. It was like the only fun thing I like to do. And I'm good at it too. It's like, and a lot of it is like sense of pride. Like, there's things you may do on your own that whatever it is, there's some things that you like, you wouldn't want to be known as somebody who isn't good at something. And for some people it's playing sports. For other people it's cooking. For me it's directions. Like I don't want to be bad at directions. It's like, that's like more important than like history. I love history, but I really love geography. And my dad got me a globe for 7th Christmas, or I think it was for Christmas, when we lived in Alabama. It was one of those ones that had the mountains. You could feel the mountains. And man, I knew everything on that thing. Yeah, we didn't have the internet. I didn't have Atari or none of that stuff. So then they went and created all these other countries, and you lose track of all that shit. But I went to Europe and then you get Google Earth, and then you're good with directions, and then you add Google Earth, you're like a fucking wizard, you know. Like I was not scared of going everywhere in Spain on my own. Like give me the frick as long as there's a cell phone signal, we'd go anywhere. Like go by there, like oh there's like a castle nearby, let's go over there and check it out. Super cool, super cool. Love that stuff. I wonder what Chinese rap is like. It's probably just as bad as rap that's not Chinese. So, as someone who identifies as a deaf person, because there's just a lot of shit I don't hear, I don't listen to lyrics. I don't listen to music that I like. Just isn't about lyrics because I half the time I don't understand what the hell they're saying. It's all about sound, and I don't like the sound of anything rappy at all. Your wife thought we were lost when we were navigating a city. She was upset because I had the map upside down. I was within a block of our location. Yeah. Does your wife argue with you about directions? My wife does not. And I've had this conversation before. If your significant other, what would be the worst quality that you would not be able to tolerate in your significant other? Mine would be argues with me about directions. Like, I would not be able to handle that. I would not be able to handle that. My wife basically lets me do whatever it is. And that's like, even if she's driving, I'm navigating. She'll say, I'll drive Siri to the end of the world. I'm not. I'm like, we ain't gonna, I don't use Siri, I use Waze. I'll go on Waze, for the cops. Waze, we're not taking that fucking route. That's stupid to go that way. So I'll tinker with it. She's like, oh, I'll follow it to the end of the world. I'm like, I'm not. You're taking one of the things out that's like the most fun, Like that stuff is fun. It's basically like volunteering. You're basically volunteering to do something, take something away from me that I enjoy. You want to take something away from me? How about like cover for me when I'm not at work? So it's not a nightmare when I go on vacation. But I run Waze constantly because of the cops. You don't want to like get ready to pass somebody because they're being a nuisance or whatever, and that's when there's a fucking cop ambush, That's why a lot of people think Born in the USA is a patriotic song. They don't actually listen to the lyrics. I can't understand him. I don't like Bruce Springsteen. Regardless of his politics or anything, I just don't like the sound of his songs. I don't. I'm not saying he doesn't have any talent. He's just like, I don't really care for it. Yeah, I don't listen to lyrics. I don't, because I can't hear well. That's why, actually, I really enjoy smooth jazz. Not every smooth jazz thing, but then there's no lyrics. So the song can be about whatever the hell you want it to be about. Not like whatever some druggie came up with it. I'd say Bruce Springsteen is a druggie. I'm just saying that there's a lot of people that do music that are druggies. Uh-oh. This is not... adhering too great. Yeah, it just totally covers up the red. There we go. I knew we'd get rid of the red because it's happened to me many times. I'd be like, oh, okay, I like this color trim. And they're like, oh, man, where did it go? All I did was apply it the same way I did everything else. Aha! That's what did it. And this morning it dawned upon me what that big G on the side of it. It's like, oops, right? What is this guy called? Rice cubes straight out of Guangdong. Guangdong. And sure enough, I mean, if he was truly Chinese, the most Western Chinese place would be like the provinces that are around uh, Hong Kong, and that's Guangdong province. So I'm like, oh, well, that freaking works. Yeah, who screw doing this with an airbrush? Like, I know that there's people that are wizards with airbrush. I am not an airbrush wizard. I'm not half bad. I'm getting better every time I do it. I'd like to think I'm never going to be as good with an airbrush as I am with a regular brush. And I'm okay with that. I just know the ins and outs of this a lot better than I do an airbrush. I'm more comfortable with it. I don't like accidentally go and put too much down. But I'm getting better every time. Because I didn't have an airbrush until a few years ago. 3 years ago, maybe? I'm not counting the one that I used for make DBA armies, the DBA mats. I'm not counting that. That doesn't really count. And I used one a little bit at the hobby store, but that was like in the early 90s. We had a Pache or something like that. Airbrush that we were allowed to use. And I don't remember. Well, I did some 1/35th scale models with it. I don't think that. was that much of a pain. But honestly, I don't remember. But now, I don't really have jams. It cleans up every time. I mean, there's a lot of things that aren't an issue anymore. All right, we need to put a little bit of like bright metal. I'm going to put that around now. Let's get the chrome out, or what we call the chrome, mithril silver. Song with the hardest to understand lyrics. I don't know. For me, it'd be like there's a whole bunch of them. What? Here we go. Bugs? I guess bugs banging into the glass. There's no reason to go outside in Florida in the warm weather at night. Too many damn bugs. Let's avoid the stuff towards the end. That part would just be smoldery. Tail lights on a Corvette. Are they all red? Probably not. I'm going to say the inside ones are probably orange. But I don't want to invent that. (1976) Corvette rear. Oh, it's got white inside the red. I don't think we can pull that off. I think we'll just make those white. That's a bit extreme considering they're inside inset. Yeah, the only Corvette, here we go, we're going to piss people off. Yeah, it's my opinion. Doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter. My least favorite Corvette is the early one. I don't like that one with Why? It's a '50s car. I don't like '50s cars. There's probably exceptions. There's probably a '50s car out there I like, but '50s cars, ugly. As a general rule, don't like them. Don't like them. Doesn't mean I won't have any. You know, they're just ugly. If you're gonna have wings, fly. You're not gonna have wings. Don't fly. Don't put wings on something that doesn't fly. I mean, a '49 Mercury is a cool, but that's not a '50s car. It's a '49. I'm sure there's some out there that I like, but I generally don't like 1950s cars. And some 1960s cars look pretty darn modern. Like some 67, 68s, and 69s. Look like as good as like stuff from the late '70s. 1950s cars. God, some of these are ugly. No, that's not big enough. I can't see it. Let me visit that. It's not listed what they are. There's some here that look okay. I just can't read what the hell they are. This thing looks okay, whatever it is. I don't like the old Thunderbirds either. Oh, here's the one that's the one with the face from the fire marshal. And I don't have any nostalgia to it because my dad didn't have any. Well, he wasn't here in the '50s. I don't know that if he had. I never got a chance to ask him if he had a car in Cuba. He probably didn't. He probably didn't. People didn't have him. I mean, he was the first one in his family to go to college, but I don't know that he had a car. Didn't need to. Different times. Hopefully he didn't, because somebody else is driving it around. I'll take the challenge. I'll put a little bit of red in there on the ones on the inside, and then we'll do a light color in the middle. Maybe I'll learn a new skill. I said that the other day, and I did. Like, oh my god, I spliced a vehicle together with hot glue. That actually worked really well. Again, it's like it only took me 35 years of building models to come up with a hub. Well, that was overkill. To come up with to do that. And yeah, I'm specifically doing this pink because this is going to be the one that's the. Man, I might pull this off. I need to start doing a shittier job. Because every time I perform a minor miracle, I'm like, man, I need to quit my day job, and I can't. It's not really noticeable, but there's a tiny little bit of red around that white. And we need a little bit of, let's not use that one. Let's use one darker than that. What is this? Iron Breaker. Anything else that needs to be a little bit of dry brush there. And then we can do drippings. And I'm not going to take photos of this. All the other ones I've taken photos of, I've actually taken photos of before they're sealed. This one I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that because the windows are going to look significantly different. Hopefully better. Before we do that, I just noticed that there is some coverage issues of somewhere on this tire. Yeah, I could spend a lot more time on this thing, but we got hundreds of cars to do. I don't want to spend a month on it, or even a week on a car. Yeah, a small Hot Wheels back there ain't gonna hurt nobody. Okay. Some drippings. Tony's Tones, not dark tone. I gotta go use the little boy's room. I'll be right back. Yeah, I just can't imagine sitting there. What'd you do tonight? Oh, watch television. You watch television all day long instead of like doing something like this. Like, got nothing to show for it. There's not anything on TV worth that has that much excitement. At least for me, I don't think so. Before I forget this, and I could totally see forgetting this, the tailpipe or the exhaust here that's underneath this. Not underneath this, but right here. And then there's one on this side too. Yep. All right, what do we have? We had that was the strong tone, which we need to mix into this stuff. Soft there. Mid brown. And did I use light? I don't remember. Use them all so I run out of them all at the same time. I need to figure out what's going on with those colors. They've definitely changed the nomenclature for them. I think mid brown is now called something red. I could be wrong, but I think that's the case. Nice. I saw some photos of, what was it, a Space Marine or something like that? It was like a Space Marine on YouTube or whatever. And they were showing how to paint some plasma effects or something like that. And I was like, yeah, okay, that's not really useful. But then this particular figure that they have some spectacular people that paint. They have some spectacular painters for that kind of stuff, even though it's not something that even remotely interests me. But this guy had like a weapon, and it was like kind of like the flamethrower. It was like a tube that was connected to it. And that tube was made out of like, it looked like it was like shiny steel, and it was like almost like articulated. So if you remember, if you have like a shower head, if you have a shower head in your shower that has one of those removable showers, I don't like that anymore, but that's what it reminded me of. So it looks like it's banded. That's the best thing. And it was banded and it was painted like it was reflective steel, but it wasn't even done with steel. It was done with other colors. It was like, wow, that's really cool for a game that the figure's like, okay, odd even he dies, because it's so damn. It's just such a simple game, but they have some spectacular freaking painters that do that kind of stuff. But it's a fluff that doesn't. Their story just doesn't interest me. That's not to downplay their. I like their miniatures and the style that a lot of their stuff is done in. It's just the fluff factor isn't there for me. All right, so I think at this point I'm gonna let this dry for a little bit, and then we'll go and flat coat it. I'm gonna go ahead and flat coat the Homer Simpson mobile. And what else? Oh, the Riviera is not clear coated either. And what did we do before the Riviera? Probably the heavy metal one. The heavy metal one is done. Oh, Fire Marshal Phil. Fire Marshal Phil, is also not done. So we're gonna take those cars and we're gonna clear coat them. And yeah, just for protective purposes. And we'll see you guys on tomorrow morning, maybe if I'm inspired to do that. All right, folks, thanks for stopping.